Liverpool FC is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips and I will spell, cause they don't just play but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like... Napoleon had that idea, he would conquer the bloody world.
Welcome to the Anfield South podcast. For WhatsApps of podcasts, you'll never talk alone. I'm your host Slim. Today we have Leroy.
Yo.
Chris.
What's good, people?
Shawn.
What's going on?
Sini.
Greetings, people.
And Big Sam.
Yes, people.
So today we watched Liverpool versus Southampton. Result was 3-0. Let's start with our new guest, Chris. What do you think of today's game?
Professional performance. I think we did what we needed to do. No goals let in, which is always a good thing. I think we're still there's a bit of a transition in styles because we were a little bit more free last season, a bit more free flowing, but I think Klopp's tried to find a balance this season, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously you want to see the team let go and just hammer somebody, but I'd rather take the 3 points than, you know, we go kamikaze and end up letting in 2 or 3 silly goals. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. What do you think about today's game? They were in the tactics. What do you think of Klopp's tactics today?
To be fair, I think it's just highlighting some of the stuff that Chris just said, really. The fact now that we don't go gun-ho anymore, because I felt that what that done a few seasons back, the side we'd get a great result, it might be 4-5-0, but we'd be punished for that later on in the season because the team would just be burnt out. And now, what I'm liking and what I'm seeing now is that we go 2 goals up, maybe 3. He starts to make those changes, makes us more solid. We still got those guys for the counter attack as well. So obviously, then he shuffles up the pack in the middle. So what brought on Milner today, and it just toughened it up again. And again, as they want to come forward, we hit them down the sides with Trent or with Robbo down there. And so now I like it. I like that, the fact that now he's doing what Rafa did before, which is you have a team you don't just play that way that you play every game, which is just gun ho. Yeah. You play a team for what they've got there. So if you match them up. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean?
So if they're good in the air, for argument's sake, you play, you know, the best players in the right position.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Sini, coming to you today. The substitutions Klopp made. For me personally, Milner started on the bench, and I was quite happy with that. You know, he's been our best player so far this season. He's covered a lot of the ground in most of the games, especially on Tuesday night in the Champions League.
Correct.
I thought he was going to have a rest for the whole game, but he actually brought him on at half time for Shaqiri, who wasn't injured. What are your thoughts on that, brother?
And that's caught me by surprise, if I'm honest. I thought today would have been a good day for Shaqiri to get 90 minutes under his belt, and show everybody what he's about and get him some minutes on the pitch. So the half-time substitution has kind of come to me as a surprise, especially if he's not injured. And I think with Milner, the games that he's been putting in and the shifts he's been putting in the games that we've been playing, I think that he could do with the game rest, especially at the fact that we were pretty much nearly cruising half-time, and it seemed like the game we were going to finish that game and take it.
Given the depth of the squad as well, you'd think that we had enough to cope without bringing Milner on as well. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think in a game like this, particularly against lesser teams, no disrespect to Southampton, I think you need a player like Shaqiri on the pitch because they're going to set up with men behind the ball. Yeah. And I think having a player like Shaqiri, who can do something different with the ball, be a bit tricky, be a bit creative and inventive in that little space behind the strikers and in between the midfield, I think you want a player like that in those games to unlock a defence.
Yeah, definitely, man. Big Sean, Gomez, he came on today for Van Dijk. What's your assessment of him? Because he played without the general today.
He did, and it just showed you that he don't need to play alongside Van Dijk to show how good he is. I mean, he came on and I just thought that he was just quality. You know what I mean? He just commanded also the back line. A few one-on-one opportunities that he had against also the Southampton players, dealt with them easy. You know what I mean? He's just going game by game, getting better and better. You know what I mean?
Strength by strength.
Strength by strength. Hopefully the injury to Van Dijk obviously isn't too serious.
Yeah.
Because obviously them two also. until obviously not a very good partnership. But I mean, going by today's game and obviously previous games, he's just getting better and better, and he's deserving of all the praise that he's getting right now. You know what I mean? He's just been excellent.
Yeah, no, good game today. Good result today. And Big Sam, Salah finally got a goal, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the relief. The relief. You could see he was forcing it a bit, and to be fair, even during the game, it seemed like he was over smiling and trying to put the right body language for us to all see that he wasn't getting frustrated and such. To be fair, you know, I was talking to Chris in the car on the way up here, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? If that free kick had have gone in, oh wow.
Would have been a special free kick. That was an excellent free kick.
But, you know, to be fair, Salah needed it more than Shaqiri.
Just to side chat quickly, since Gerrard, have we had a decent free kick taker that could take a free kick like Shaqiri took today?
Suarez.
Actually, yeah, Suarez.
Suarez is a one-off. He's a bit of a
freak
special
show.
guy, bit of a freak show. But you know, in terms of like the guys that could do that, and he whipped it out like it was nothing. Yeah. We looked at him, we were like, this is 35 yards almost, you know, and he pinged it, and I wanted to hit the bottom of the bar and bounce in. You know, let Salah have his moment and feel a bit better about himself and stop the press talking about him.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the main thing there to get them, because you know once the press get onto a player, can mess with their head big time. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was good that Salah got his goal today. So in terms of man of the match, let's all go around and who would you say had man of the match today? For me personally, I find it quite tough to call him man of the match because I feel the whole team played well.
Yeah, it's tricky.
But I didn't really see a standout performer, if I'm honest.
Well, I think Slim is that because the game was so easy, it was so comfortable. I mean, everybody had a good game, but again, like I said, there's no one standout performer. I think everybody obviously played their part, but if I'm gonna go man of the match, I'll probably go with Firmino.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, Firmino. You know what I mean. I mean, I think for this.
The pass he played for Salah.
That pass, that pass.
I mean, also his link up play, also the work rate that he does. You know what I mean. You know, you're gonna get out of him every game. You know what I mean. So, if I'm going man of the match, I'm gonna go with obviously Firmino.
Yeah.
Do you not think this is a really positive thing though that we can't name a man of a match?
Yeah, that's what
I'm
struggling to pick out one.
No one had to be outstanding.
That's how I'm saying it. Like
if the team can be a 7.5, 8 out of 10 most games, we don't need a Salah to be a 9 or a Mane to be a 10 or whatever. And that's positive for us, man. We how well did we even play? We played well in patches.
Yeah.
And we don't have to yet. We haven't hit our stride yet.
Second gear again.
And that's scary. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Exactly. We're saying to Sam coming up, same thing. I don't think we've hit anywhere near top speed. I think there's a lot more to come, and I think when players like Fabinho establish themselves, I think it's going to be horrible for other teams to play. We're going to have that Man United have had over the last couple of years, where teams win, teams have lost before they rock up. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them sort of things.
Well, yeah, it will be horrible once we click into gear, man. I do fear for the rest of the league, boy. But you know, I'm gonna say that, innit? I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm gonna say that.
The Fabinho point though, Slim. I mean, could he have come on today instead of Milner?
Today was a day to bring the guys in who haven't had many minutes. But I hope it's Wednesday. Klopp's looking forward to, and these guys are gonna get the run out on Wednesday. But I did think, let's think about the substitutions you made. You brought on Gomez, alright, fair enough. You centre back, Matip was already on, fair enough. You brought on Milner, didn't really need to bring him on.
He didn't have to do that, did he, really?
He brought on Naby, you didn't really need to bring him on either, but then saying that, Naby could probably do with some minutes as well, so he didn't play midweek, so fair enough. But yeah, I thought today was a day for the fringe players to get some more minutes, because it was so comfortable. But
because if Fabinho don't start on Wednesday, I'm not sure he's going to start for the Chelsea or the City game.
The league game.
Yeah, we got Napoli as well.
Yeah, we got Napoli in between those two as well. Yeah,
he has to start. He has to start
Wednesday. Yeah, I can't. If he doesn't start, then I don't know when he's going to start him.
I think with the midfield that we had, if you bring on Fabinho with Winnie and Henderson, it looks like a negative substitution because you're bringing on a defensive midfielder, and basically you're inviting Southampton or giving them a bit of confidence to come and attack us. So I'm not so sure that it would have been the best substitution to make for minutes, yes, but tactically wise, I'm not quite sure if that would have been the right substitution to make it.
Love that, Sini. Love that, Sini. Where my mind doesn't see it, you've seen it, and I fully agree with you now.
That's the manager and Sini coming out right here.
I fully agree with you now. Do you know what I mean? It actually makes sense. So yeah, I'd hope to see Fabinho get a start run out on Wednesday.
Yeah,
do you know
absolutely.
What I mean? Winnie could take a rest.
Do you know what I was going to just to add? Sorry, it's just that I think that the way in which, see, for example, that substitution that you guys are talking about not happening there, and the guys he's brought on with Gomez and whatnot, I think it's about consistency as well, you know. Because the thing is, if you bring someone in like that, if it goes wrong, it might end up being a 3-2, but you go from being super comfortable in the game to it being a bit, do you know what I mean? It don't mean to be like that.
Especially with Van Dijk off the pitch.
Just on something, I mean, so you just put stability in there. These guys are only having to do what? I don't know the exact times and the minutes of the actual. Who came on for Shaqiri's was done at half time, but the other ones are done through the second half. So I think those guys will be cool. Like, I mean, it's not. I can see what that my view on it is. I like what Sini's added there, but I think it's about consistency. I just don't. I like the fact that we're not just playing the same team every week. Play. You just break it up a bit. And these guys, Milner would be fine. Like that weren't. If he's had to do a full 90, it's different. But it'd be cool.
No, we know James Milner is probably the fittest player at the club. So we're not worried about his fitness. But you know, you like to preserve. I like to call him the asset now. That's his the asset. So you know, I like to protect my assets. You know what I mean?
I think Milner came on because I think he wanted to control the midfield a bit more. I think in the first half, although we weren't stretched, I thought they were allowed to cross the ball into the box a few too many times, and I think he was trying to stop that ball going out wide constantly. Yeah. So that's the only thing. I mean, Shaqiri's not injured, so I'd assume it was that reason. Do you know what I mean, wanted to control the midfield a bit better?
Quite possibly, yeah. I think one thing as well is that of this 10-game run that we're on at the minute, which has been put in the press as a nightmare run with all the big games that we've got, I think this is probably the most dangerous one. Because normally this is where we get complacent. It's off the back of a Champions League game. It's also a game where we're playing a lesser team, where we know we don't have the problem playing against the big teams. We always turn up, but it's normally these games where we drop points. And I think this is probably the most important to see that we have a change and a shift in our mentality and what we're actually going to do if we are going to try and go for the league. So I think this is probably the biggest game of the 10 that we're going to play.
I always worry about these smaller games than a lot more than the big games.
100.
Well, every Liverpool fan knows it was the smaller teams that were our downfall.
Yeah, you don't win the league against the big teams.
You don't. You can lose a few of those games. I mean, we could go to Chelsea and get a draw, go to City. Where are we, home or away from City?
Home for the City.
We could lose to City at home, which I doubt very much. But we could lose City at home and draw to Chelsea, and we could still be alright. We could still be in the running come May, come December. So, do you know what I mean? So, just those little teams. And plus, the stat I read today, the fact that last season we only won 3 out of 12 games after a Champions League game. That's a worrying stat, considering Champions League is where we need to be year in and year out. If we carry on with that kind of form after a Champions League game, we're never going to challenge for the title. You know
it's understandable though, considering that we were literally playing the same team for like twice a week. Do you know what I mean? We didn't. I don't remember him until the latter stages. I mean, after Christmas, I think he started to rotate and trust some of the second or bench players a bit more. But before that, it was literally playing the same team twice a week, and they're going to burn out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Lads, okay. Well,
do we even have an agreed man of the match though? Is it just the team? It's just the team.
I would have probably gone with Bobby myself.
That's 2 for Bobby.
I would have.
Third, Bobby.
3 for Bobby.
Yeah, I got Bobby because I mean, Robertson maybe is a decent game.
Yeah, no, I was going to shout for Robertson, to be fair. I thought he was up and down. He put his challenges in. He put his crosses in. He's Mr. Reliable, even more so than Milner to a certain degree.
That's what I was going to. I was just going to say, would you say he's like Milner's deputy? Like Milner's very reliable in that
definitely
sense.
Based on last season. Last season.
Basically. Okay, lads, that brings me nicely on to Tuesday's game, Champions League game versus PSG.
Oh, that minor game during the week.
Nothing.
It's nothing. Alright, let's start with the lineup, because we all knew Firmino was carrying a little injury from the Tottenham game. yeah. And to see Sturridge in the lineup, I don't know about you, I was excited to see him in the lineup, but nervous at the same time. Such a big game, he hasn't played much. We know what Sturridge could be like sometimes, you know, is he going to put in the work, X, Y and Z? Pleasantly surprised. Me, personally. I mean, Sean, what do you think about the lineup for Tuesday?
Yeah, I liked it, man. I mean, I know there was a lot of negative talk in the WhatsApp group about the midfield, but that midfield got us to the Champions League final, you know what I mean? You know, they put in some great performances. Sturridge, I understand that he hasn't played a lot, but we all know like that when he is fit and when he is healthy and when he's getting the service, how clinical and how deadly he can be, you know what I mean? I was so happy for him to get the goal. Also, that's going to lift his confidence. I was just very happy with the performance. I thought the midfield were just fantastic. Milner, just put in a shift, you know what I mean? Matip, Neymar didn't want none of him. No, Henderson, even Wijnaldum, you know what I mean? Obviously getting the penalty. You know what I mean? So
big up Winnie, big up Winnie.
I
know his biggest detractor is right here right now, but big up Wijnaldum.
We miss you, Ryan.
Yeah, big shout out to Ryan, but
Big up Ryan.
wish you were here to praise him, but you took an L this week.
And in the same breath, shout out my brother Leo. Yeah, Willie's biggest fan.
Yeah, so to me, I mean, listen, they all played their part, you know what I mean? It was a very controlled, very professional, very balanced performance in the midfield. We just shut them down, you know what I mean? The front three, I mean, they didn't do much at all, in my opinion. I mean, okay, I know Mbappe got the goal, but that was because obviously a bad ball by Salah. But other than that, I mean, we completely outplayed that midfield, you know what I mean? So, I was happy with that.
To be honest with you, all the kind of hype with PSG coming to town, I must say, their kit though. The Jordan team.
That was a bit special.
That's nasty.
Fire.
Nasty. But anyway, all the talk about them coming to town, you know, Neymar, Mbappe and Cavani and all that, I mean, do much in the game for me. Do you know what I mean? I think their lack of defensive responsibility is a big problem.
So that's the thing.
But they don't have to work in. And that's it. They don't have to.
Just to add to them, I mean, if you compare their front three with our front three, I mean, when we lose the ball, what do? We all track back. You know what I mean? As a team.
Ours is the better
when
front
they lost the ball, like, I mean, come on. How many times did you see
ours is the better front three.
Cavani,
those guys were making cups of tea and
what they, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's crazy. It was crazy. I just think, I don't know. I don't watch European football too much, so that League One, I don't know what is that about, man. Like they can do that every week and get away with it. I think they come to Anfield and do the same thing.
Strange league, man. It's poor, but they generate so many good players. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's crazy, but you know what?
I think credit has to be given to Milner for that challenge he put on Neymar.
From early. We talked about it, you know. We're saying who's going to put the 50-50 on him? Who's going to put it on? I thought it was going to be Trent.
Yeah,
but Milner put it on. He didn't want it after that, did he?
Immediately, that challenge that he put on Neymar, he didn't fancy it the rest of the game. I'm pretty sure 3/4 of Anfield got a semi after that.
Get in.
If you take that challenge and bottle it up, put it into a pill, Viagra goes bust.
It's true. That was a good tackle, man. No doubt. So, Tuesday was the first time we saw Henderson start a game for Liverpool this season. Thoughts on his performance, Leroy?
Fun. I like the way he came to me. Henderson. I'm probably one of his biggest critics at the best of times. I think he. But I've always said he does exactly what he says in the tin.
Yeah, he's run.
Yeah, he does exactly what he says in the tin, and with the players around him. I find he's not forced to try and be that guy. You know that try and be that Gerrard or something because you're not that guy. But you do other bits really well, So I think he had a blinding game. But I seen him do that in the season when we were challenging for the league, But again, when you've got Steven Gerrard was in the side at the time anyway, he doesn't have that responsibility because he's got the armband. Yeah. You've got to go and drive the team forward. Just do the job that you do best, and that's perfect. But he had a great game. But what I wanted to touch on was the Sturridge, You guys come off that a bit quick for me.
Cool. You can chat.
I'm just saying. I'm one of his biggest fans, and I think sometimes he gets shot for this whole not being fit thing. Now I get it, but looking at him because this season I didn't want to get too excited because I seen him in pre-season. I was going, I've seen you good before, but I'm feeling a good feel, but I don't want to talk too soon.
Yeah.
But then when I went to the game on Tuesday and I was looking at him, and it was like, I was like, wow, you're in great shape, because he was never fat, but he's just lean like he just looks real. And with that body, that kind of body shape like there, you can do that kind of work rate, what's expected of you in a Klopp side. Because if you look at everyone in the team, apart from Shaqiri, there's no one really who's kind of looked like they kind of carry it.
Shaqiri's too blenched, man.
He's too big. And that even might even be one of the reasons why you may not have seen it, but you might have to come off, because it's like, so a lot to ask for. The way we hound, like we go out, it's like a pack hound like thing, it's just on it. But I like it. As I say, Sturridge is looking in great shape, and if he stays, I think I'm sure he's gone into it. He's sat down with his people, and his diet's changed. Loads of stuff. You watch. I bet you now he won't get injured as much as he did, because he has to change certain things.
We touching that.
Go on, I say that now. Probably but no, I don't think that will happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to see a different Sturridge this season. 100%.
Don't get me twisted. I'm Sturridge's biggest fan too. When all the pundits say it, when fit, one of the best strikers in the league, and he's deadly. That season with Suarez, absolutely deadly. But it's just like we say, him staying fit, and we all wish him the best. And I hope what you're saying about his diet, and you've seen him on Tuesday, is looking lean. I hope that's true, and I hope this is the start of something beautiful for Sturridge, because I feel like one of Liverpool's biggest problems through the years, we haven't been winning the Premier League, is quality coming off the bench. And to have a player like Daniel Sturridge coming off the bench,
very big.
That's big. 100%. It's hard. You know how many clubs out there would take him right now?
Huge.
You know what I mean? So I'm with you there anyway, man. Fingers crossed he stays fit. He stays the course.
I think he'll prove a lot of his doubters wrong this season. Definitely.
Seeing as we're talking about players, I have to mention Trent and Robbo on Tuesday. How good were they, man? Talk to me, Sam. How good were they?
Different class, man. Different class. I mean, the thing with Trent is we expect so much from him already, and the kid's 19.
No, it's crazy.
You got to remind yourself, everyone.
You've got to remind yourself that when he whips in a ball that goes, that he overhits. When he puts one over the bar, we have to stay calm. He's 19 years of age, and the boy is that good. That he should really be starting for England as well. Yeah. But his performance was outstanding. I mean, when you're up against that front three, not phased at all. Not phased at all. You know,
in the change room there must have been a little bit of nerves, right? Because
I don't know.
You know what, right? I've played football, not at no great level, but when I look at the league, used to look at the league table and see, we're playing a team that's top or below us because we're top or whatever the case might be. Just some slight nerves used to run through my body before the game. But once I got into the game, I was fine. And I'm a 36-year-old man.
I don't know.
He's
Trent for me has that raw scouse mentality of no fear. And I think I can see it in him. The way he carries himself, he just doesn't care. He will have it from anyone. And that exudes confidence, and it spreads as well. When you've got a man like Van Dijk next to you as well, you know what I mean? He's probably got his boy Gomez there as well. They probably go into it thinking, do you know what? I'm just playing football with my mates, but we're gonna have this.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And he shows that. He shows that every single time. And for me, it wasn't even a coming of age performance because we expect it. But we've got to realise he's still a kid, and he's gonna get so much better. I mean, for goodness' sake, he's not even a right back. The boy's a centre midfielder. A lot of people don't realise that. You know, it's just ultimate talent. You know. And as for Robbo, what can you say? If you want to call him Milner 2.0, then boy,
I think that's his nickname for me, man. Just for the consistency in his performance.
Robotron, trust me.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna touch on it again. I haven't seen his performance levels drop so far since he's been in the team.
He's got humility about him. When you got that kind of humility about your game, you always want to improve. You don't get too big headed. You know what I mean? You just go out there and put in a performance.
Just imagine that their first goal, which literally bounced off him, went to their fullback and he put it in. Imagine that was Moreno. Moreno's head would be gone from that moment. He'd feel the blame, he'd feel pressure.
Robbo just brushed it off. He's
trying to make up for it, you know what I mean?
Moreno's to stay the mascot, man. That's what Moreno the mascot and the translator.
He's a big tour guide, man. Everyone loves Moreno. As long as he's not on the pitch.
Someone had to take over from Lucas.
I'm telling you, I love his energy, I love his enthusiasm, but mascot, that's your job.
It's
true. It's true though.
I think all the superlatives have been said about Trent and even Robertson, but I feel like they still always need a mention, man. I I don't want my team to get complacent on the pitch, and I don't want us fans to get complacent with their performances. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure if they're to have a bad performance, we're quick to go, oi! Let's praise them as well, man. So for as long as they're playing well, every time we're on this podcast, I'm going to be bigging them up. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just hold my hands up and say I got Tuesday completely wrong? Completely wrong. I was cussing. I was one of the guys in the group, WhatsApp group, cussing. Like the midfield the most. But what I feel happened is, my excuse. I think I got sucked into this PSG thing a bit too much.
The hype of PSG.
Yeah, because they got Mbappe and Neymar and Cavani's a big striker. Yeah. But as good as they are as individuals, I thought they were a terrible team.
Awful team.
Terrible team. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And this debate about their front three against our front, I don't even think
no competition.
I don't think they're even close, because they don't play as a front three. They play as three individuals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same. What makes our front three great is not the individuals. It's it's greater than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean? Yeah. They play great, unselfish up until recent games.
We'll come to that.
Up until recent games, unselfish football. And for me, I was saying this to somebody the other day, is that for me, Firmino is the guy. He's the key. I think you could keep going forward in years. Not that I want it to happen. We could lose Mane, we could lose Salah, and we could get players to fit around Firmino and build it again. I think he's that important. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The guy's at left back and right back making challenges.
It's true,
and still putting through balls to link up. You know what I mean? He's that most underrated player in the league, easily.
Definitely.
Easily. Do you know what I mean? So I hold my hands up about Wednesday. Obviously, Klopp knew that as a team, they don't work as hard, or at least the front three don't work as hard. So if we put people with energy and work rate in midfield, then we would overcome in that way.
On the turnover, definitely.
Exactly.
Those three are workaholics.
Workaholics.
Yeah, because I did look at that midfield and think it was quite workmanlike, and I think I even said it in the group. But I think we've all, as Liverpool fans, we've been burnt in the past with certain teams and certain teams that have been put out in games. So we get nervous when we see certain names on the team sheets against big teams, but I think we forget, it's Jurgen at the helm now, and what he's always got a plan. You might not know it, but he's always got a plan.
You know what it is about those three though? It's that they're not great in possession. They don't keep the ball that well, those three together. Personally, I don't think so. So when you're playing against top opposition like that, you have to hold on to the ball, I think, a lot more if you want to succeed in the game. If you've got players who I think they're good at is winning the ball and then releasing it to the front three, I think that's what they're best at doing. Yeah. I assumed PSG would come and knock the ball about like Barcelona and hold on to the ball, and then we would suffer that way because they would dominate possession and then they would go and give us trouble. But I had no idea their work rate is that poor. So, you know what I mean? I think I overestimated them in that regard.
I think through all levels of football, the saying is that sometimes it's the team that wants it more. It's not necessarily the team that's actually better. And I think with those three in midfield, the work that they put in, i.e. even Henderson, what he lacks in ability, he makes up with work rate and heart. And you can see that when he took out Gomez for a challenge. Trying to win the ball. Do you know what I mean? And that reminded me of Carragher. Carragher's the type of person that would put his newborn in front of goal to make sure we don't concede. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of love. That's the type of love you want for your club. And that's, do you know what I mean?
That's why that's wicked, because that's why I like. That's part of the reason why I like Henderson. Conversations I've had with Leroy on the phone, and he's like, "What is it about Henderson? Every team needs that guy with the heart and the determination. Maybe lack of ability, yes, but the heart."
Leroy's just rubbing his head in pain, in absolute pain.
I know why though.
Do you know what? I'm not even trying to dig you out or anything. I'm just saying that you ask questions why I know. I'm just saying that those are the reasons, because everyone knows technically he's not the most.
I get frustrated. I know why Leroy's they'll be rubbing his head. He's a frustrating guy. I don't think it's exactly the same reason why people get on Wijnaldum's back, but there's a thing about Henderson where he doesn't back himself. He doesn't back his ability to pass the ball. He requires players to be 20 yards apart before he'll even risk. He won't pass the ball into feet. He's safety first guy. And sometimes when we're transitioning and we're counter-attacking, he won't thread the eye of a needle. So he would, unless there's a gaping hole where the other guy can't get to the next Liverpool guy, he won't play the ball. Do you know what I mean? And that's what frustrates. He slows it down too much sometimes.
You're so right, Chris. We mentioned it in the car. It's almost like we can see the pass. He can see it, but he's calculating, thinking, can I actually make it? Can I play that pass? And by that point, the option's closed, and he's turned back and he's giving it to Van Dijk. Exactly. And then we're just like, You've missed it. You've missed that
it, yeah.
moment. And so if he learns to trust himself a bit more, he could be a player.
Yeah.
But for now,
how old is Henderson?
well, I'm saying he could be a player, but it's now really, isn't it?
That's what
He's
I'm saying.
28.
He's like 27, 28. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
This is
So
time to produce.
yeah, this is it. This is the prime, isn't it?
Do you know what? Just touching on that, yeah. This is the thing what I noticed about Henderson, and this is the thing that does my head in. So see how you guys are talking about the pass, the obvious pass is there. I've seen Henderson, yeah. If he doesn't have time to think about it, and he just does it, it happens. Like I've seen him score goals like that, like from outside the box. I've seen him play worldly passes. I'm just talking, it just comes and he just does it. If he has too much time to think, that's what reminded me of that. If he has too much time to think, it's a wrap. But did Paris Saint-Germain have the same manager last season?
No.
And you know why I say that? Yeah, I say that because I feel that with Mbappe becoming this big world superstar now, yeah. When he first went there, it weren't like that. I seen them tear teams apart, like, yeah, and his work rate weren't like that. Watching that game on Tuesday and seeing Trent in acres of space every single time, the ball going out there, and that was actually on between him and Neymar and whatnot. I was just like, this is shocking. He weren't like that though. He was never like that. So you were right, Chris, to feel that looking at the side, you might think, ooh, we might get burnt here. The reason being is they're not the same side. They're the same team, but they're not playing the same way. Because right now, they just turn up now.
So you think, what's his name? I can't say his name properly.
Yeah, because he was he the Dortmund?
I can't say his name, but anyway, we know what we're talking about. Do you think he's now said to them, you know what, you boys, do your thing up there. Don't worry about this. We got this back here.
Personally, if you look at the way they played last season to the way they play now, trust me, I seen Paris, even in the Champions League, people forget what they did against Barcelona. They did fluff their lines slightly, but at the end of the day, look at what they did there.
But saying that as well, they were missing Verratti in midfield, and he's their general, isn't he?
He's the guard,
the conductor, isn't he? So he pulls his strings. So he'll probably be back for the second leg. So
even with Verratti in there, though, it doesn't mean that the other two don't defend.
I'm not excusing the defending. I'm just saying in terms of how dangerous they were, with him in there, you know, doing his thing, they could be more dangerous. You know what I mean?
I think any manager going to PSG is handicapped though, because you've got such big personalities, and if the rumours are true about some of the contracts that those guys have got, like there's a rumour going on about people not being able to tackle Neymar in training and
mad.
stuff.
Mad.
I've heard that. Yeah, so he's got his contract and stuff like that. So Emery, Emery was the manager before, right?
Yeah.
He was saying he was like giving a few hints that he had his hands tied. You know what I mean? Guys,
power.
You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then you're in trouble. You're never gonna.
Or maybe Neymar turned around and said, "Yo, these are my guys. We're not defending, yeah. So you figure that out. You never know."
Because you can imagine somebody having a performance like Neymar, not even Mbappe, because he's 19 still, so you give him a bit of like Ferguson or one of them guys. He's off. He would have been off at half time.
Yeah, true.
I don't care how big you are. You can't.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And Neymar's a guy for me who his form has dipped because his ego has got to the place where he's playing like he don't need his teammates.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? And when you play against Liverpool, our team right now, you don't want to play.
You need everyone.
You better
and you're still going to lose.
Exactly. You better play as a team right back now.
You need your brother in your pocket. You know what I mean? Your mum in the stands.
Telling you my baby.
Well, with the Champions League game on Tuesday, and before that, having played Tottenham, I want to ask you boys: Champions League or Premier League? Now, before you answer, I'll give you something to think of. I'm gonna tell you what I pick. I pick Premier League over the Champions League all day. Now, I fully appreciate what the Champions League brings to a club, the exposure, X, Y, Z. But a club like Liverpool gone so long without winning the Premier League. For me, it's the Premier League over the Champions League all day. Feel free, Sean. What do you reckon? Champions League or Premier League? Which one do you prioritise?
I prioritise the Premier League because, again, like you said, Slim, obviously the duration of time that we haven't obviously won the league, obviously we're desperate to obviously. I mean, we're desperate to obviously win the league. You know what I mean? It's been how long now?
Yeah.
20 plus years? You know what I mean? Since we won the league. Champions League. However, saying that Champions League, we shouldn't obviously just dismiss it. You know what I mean? We should obviously still try and get as far as we possibly can. You know what I mean? Obviously go through a good run in the Champions League, but the league is our bread and butter. It's something like it that we need to win. You know what I mean? I feel like this season we've got the squad to compete for both, but we've got enough quality.
So that was.
push for the league. You know
that
what I
was
mean?
going to be my next question. Is it possible to go for both? Going on what you're saying, do you feel it's possible to do both?
I don't see why not. So I mean, again, we now have the squad. This has probably been the best we've had since Rafa Benitez. You know what I mean?
That's a question. There is this squad better than Rafa's squad? Rafa's nearly squad that comes second.
The midfield.
I say
the midfield.
The entire squad.
Yes, because we had a brilliant 11 then. But
entire
That's
squad.
what I was going to say. Under Rafa, we never had a squad.
We had a good start.
We had a good starting 11.
Exactly.
I can't remember the last time we had a good squad.
I mean, you can bring players like Shaqiri, Sturridge off the bench. You know what I mean?
Fabinho still there.
Fabinho still hasn't also even played his part.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely the best squad that we've had against
squad definitely.
Rafa. You know what I mean? So
in our lifetimes.
Wow.
well, there you go. Yeah.
Imagine.
So to answer your question, Slim, I would say obviously the league.
Yeah. Okay. What about yourself then, Chris? Man, Champions League versus the Premier League. Which one are you prioritising?
League all day, and only because I got a bagger man on a list. I'm gonna stand outside their yard with a megaphone. I'm telling you, I've been taking beatings for too long. I need the league in my life. You understand? I don't get me wrong. I want to say greedy and say both, but if you look outside of teams like PSG or Bayern Munich, I don't think any other team has got the chance to really win both now. I think it's too competitive in the leagues. Bayern win their league just turning up, and PSG win their league just turning up, so they can focus. I mean, they dropped. How many players did they drop for? PSG dropped for their league game.
Well, they dropped the big three, didn't they?
Yeah. So who else can do that?
Yeah.
You can't do that in the Premiership. You'll get done. Do you know what I mean? So I think outside of those two teams, I think it's more difficult for other teams. Most difficult for Premiership teams because teams here compete. They might not have the quality, but they'll rough you up. Teams like Burnley and Brighton away, they're no joke. You know what I mean? So you can't go in there thinking we're going to walk it. Now you need a bit of luck to win both, but for me it's definitely the Premiership. 20 odd, was it 27, 28 years?
It's fat, isn't it?
Let's not even talk about it. It's a long ass time.
I'm not even counting.
Yeah, we can't even count no more.
It's way too long. I've been fighting the corner for way too long. I've taken bruises all over the place. I need some new armour, you know what I mean?
Especially being a Southern Liverpool fan.
There you go.
It's
there you
so
go.
hard, man.
There you go.
So
You're
hard.
taking my licks for too long, man. It's time we win it.
So you're saying Premier League?
Premiership,
yeah?
100%.
What are you saying, Leroy, man? You saying, man?
Nah, for me, I've said to everyone it's the Prem. It's the Prem, man.
Yeah.
It's now, yeah. It's way, as everyone said, everyone said, it's far too long. But I would like to see us still press as hard as we can, possibly for Champions League. But see, this is the thing. See, you talk about that, all my other cousins and that, they're all United fans. So you imagine going through the 90s and just having all of that crap.
Do you know what, brother? I feel for you, man.
It's nuts. But when I look at some of the teams that they've had over the years, like the season they done the treble, people fail to realise they had 4 strikers, and not no joke strikers. You had Ole Gunnar and Sheringham. Them guys and the teams in the league at that time weren't at this level that they are now. So you can have those guys and play those guys in games or bring them on. They'll do damage. You know what I mean? But I see that we've got guys now that we could lose 2 or 3 and throw these guys in and be okay. But
So let me ask you then, Leroy, do you think that we've got the squad to compete for both then? And actually go full pelt for both?
I actually feel if we play how he's been playing us, and when I say that, we go out and we kind of play. I always talk about Rafa because I like the way he used to do things, but we preserve ourselves in games. So you do this pressing thing in phases, like
similar to today.
Yes, you understand what I'm saying? It's not just constantly. You do it, and then you've got your goals now. I feel when we go 2 up, it's a problem for you now because you got to now think to yourself, are we going to go for it? Or are we going to just conserve this? And they're going to just say, all right, Liverpool, you can have that now. Do you know what I mean? I like that. I think if we can do that, we can definitely win both. I'll go on record and say that.
That's the change I've seen in us this season. In that we're not going full pelt. We're not looking for the 4s and 5s at the moment. And it's frustrating. I was talking to you about the other day, we were saying that it looks like we're just recycling the ball and we're not actually pressing and we're not actually trying to look for spaces. That patience is our rest time.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're seeing the difference now through the defensive stability. We're losing a bit in attack, but we're still winning the games and we haven't hit our stride yet. And I love that. I love that. And I think it's going to be beneficial for us when we hit the new year. Because when the players start to feel it a little bit, when we were playing early on the last season, we was going full pelt and hammering teams.
Yeah, we were.
And then we were starting to struggle in the new year when all the pressure of the Champions League was coming in for us, and our legs were starting to go. So the management now, for me, you can only call out Klopp for that, because I think he's done this deliberately. And although it's frustrating because we're used to literally blitzing teams, I'll take a 3-0 and a low key second half.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because it's going to benefit us later on in the season.
But I think, Sam, as you're saying, like, over the defensive stability, I think also Van Dijk coming in, that's just changed that completely. You know what I mean? Him and Gomez now, you can clearly see, like, we don't need to go and win, like I said, win games 4-5-0.
Yeah.
We can win a game 2-0. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Having him there, like, has given us so much poise at the back. You know, I mean, last season, if you went up 3-0,
Oh God.
He's still panicking.
well, I'm saying,
problems.
we're
worried.
Him there now, listen, him there now, even being up 1-0, uncomfortable, seriously.
And Alisson, I think Alisson is
Yeah, and Alisson as well, of course,
Klopp
yeah.
did say earlier in the week, I can't remember, sometime in the week, about us winning ugly, things like that. So that's what you're saying there, Sean. That's part of it, isn't it? Like going 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and thinking. And then as well, to echo what you said, Leroy, as well. If we're doing that, going in patches, teams don't know whether to stick or twist.
All right.
We get 2-0 now, and we're sitting back. We're like, come on, then what are you gonna do? They don't know, like, wow, they come in.
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
If we come.
Exactly.
What's Salah going to do? What's Mane going to do? So
And the thing is, I think we're still creating loads of chances. I just think we're not frantic. We haven't got the kamikaze nature about us. You know what I mean? If you look at like Tottenham game, we should have won it about 5-1, 6-1. We could have won that game. So it's not as though we're not still creating chances. I think it's just we're not just going gun ho. It's controlled aggression. You know what I mean? I say more than just kamikaze behavior. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big difference this season I've seen.
Alright, Sini, what do you reckon, man? Champions League versus Premier League, man. Which one you go?
It's a no-brainer. It's got to be the Premier League.
Yeah?
It's got to be the Premier League. No one can talk to me after that.
Yeah.
That's it. Once you get the Premier League,
Done, finish, retire.
Any room I walk into, everyone walks out after that. You know what I mean? That's it. Once you get the Premier League belt, that's it. Finished, done, and then we can kick on. I think it is possible to do both, because the cup games are. I think a lot of that is luck as well.
Yeah.
But the league is consistency. That's your bread and butter. That's
100%.
consistency. Whoever wins the league is the best team. You don't win that by accident.
Yeah, it's true.
But cups, you can get dodgy decisions.
We weren't the best in 2005, were
Exactly.
we? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We won it, so it should be
Exactly.
the best, better than anybody. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You can get the dodgy decisions that take you through to the next round. Do you know what I mean? But I think it has to be the league that we're going for.
I'm with
It
you.
has to be.
100%. I'm with you.
100%, yeah.
I'm with
I'm
you,
with
man.
that.
We all know that.
So, fellas, in the media this week, there's been a lot said about Salah and his what can I call it? Frustration.
Bottle dashing antics.
Yeah, bottle dashing antics. Absolutely. Yeah. But with that, there's been what I could perceive as looking like from the Tottenham game, a little clash between Mane and Salah. Mane's been accused of greed. There's been a lot of insults on social media towards Sadio about passing to Salah. Do any of you see a problem between them two at the moment, or is it all just keyboard warrior hype?
Media hype. As far as I'm concerned, you see the players, pictures of the players in training, you see videos. It seems nothing but love. I think all that mess is coming from. A lot of it, from what I've seen, is coming from Salah fans, and those are to be separated from Liverpool fans, because not all Salah fans are Liverpool fans. You know what I mean? So a lot of these guys are coming on social media and throwing some reckless comments, racist comments even about it. But they're just guys who are getting overexcited about Salah because he's on a major platform now. Do you know what I mean? And his Premiership is the biggest league in the world, most watched anyway, and he's getting that limelight, and they want him to be Messi, but him being Messi is irrelevant to Liverpool. It's all about what Liverpool do as a team.
Yeah, it's all about the team.
You know what I mean? So it's good that they hype him, and it's good that they back him, but we want to win the league. So if Salah scores four goals and win the league, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Team first.
Don't really mean shit to me. So you know what I mean? I think going forward, like I said, them two are good. I think that energy from last year in terms of becoming more, less selfish, so to speak, I think that will come back. You know what I mean? And I think we'll be good again. Although we're not back now, but I think most of it is hype. It's unrealistic to expect him to bang in 44 goals again. That means the team as a whole maybe not doing something right. It's better 5 guys score 15, 20 goals, then one guy scores 44 goals. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Leroy's clapping.
Do you think he needs to realise that though? Because last season Liverpool was about Salah. Let's be honest. Yeah, that whole run, everything he done, it was all focused around Salah. As much as Firmino and Mane had good seasons, it seemed like everybody was gearing this whole season towards Salah.
Agreed.
And he became that guy. Yeah. He really did. And I don't know if he's realised this season, even in this short amount of time, that this season it's not actually going to be about him. It's going to be about the team as a whole.
Yeah. I think that was because, like I said, the media and the fans to some extent were pushing him and putting a bit of a battery in his back. And I think he had a bit more humility when he started. But when people's gassing you, it's difficult not to develop some kind of ego that, you know, along with that. But I think he'll calm down and realise that I don't think it's overly bad. I don't think it's that bad. I think people are making a bit too much of it, to be honest with you. Exactly that. So I think he will calm down. But he was like Seabiscuit, and we did ride him to the finish line. It was one of them sort of things that we just put out there, you know what I mean, and jumped on everybody, just pile on and ride him all the way there. But I think this season, people need to step into their own skin and realise that they're all a part of it, and it's a team thing, and we're good.
Yeah. You know, but players are going to make incorrect decisions, do you know what I mean, in games. So, you know, a player could be through on goal, could be a player in a better position. They all see the headlines, don't they? And they go for the worldie or whatever you call it. But does that mean there's a problem between the players? You know what I mean? Or are the press right to... Do you think the press may be trying to slightly start to derail our trade?
This happened already a few times this season.
Yeah.
So
I have an issue with that. Because I feel that there's a different kind of hatred towards Liverpool. Like I've seen that grow. See, like the old, like because there's the older folk, like what they actually show me is back in the day. Because obviously I haven't experienced Liverpool winning stuff. Yeah. But apart from the Champions League, obviously,
but not as much as they did.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But they were like, you don't know what it's like. So when they flipped it to me and actually broke it down to me, it's like how I felt with United. Yeah. I can't stand United. But
sorry, Leroy, can I say big shout out to United today? Good to see Alex Ferguson back at Old Trafford, dropping points against newly promoted. Sorry, just trying to interrupt you. You may continue.
That's jokes. So I lost track of where I was there.
No, you were saying how the older generation.
Yeah, they hate. So it doesn't. But those guys are still around in the media. Yeah. So any little thing to kind of mess us up somehow, they'll do it. Trust me. I don't think there's anything in that. What I will say is though, I do feel that mine is like a rough diamond. Sometimes you get into a fantastic position, and then you have the split of two. Yeah, and he's got that decision to make. Innit? Yeah. And just for me. Of course, we make bad decisions every now and then, but sometimes we have that. I sit there, we have so many chances in the game. I'm like, you got to convert more of these. You got to convert more of these. I'm sorry. If you have 5, I want 3 of them in the bag.
At least.
You know what I mean? I don't want you miss 3 and we get 1 when we go into the second half. And now it's a tougher game. It's long.
So just personal decision making from
that's it.
From the players.
That's it.
As opposed to it being competition between Mane and Salah.
I think that the stories coming out of the media is actually good news, because what it shows is that they're trying to fabricate stories because they ain't got anything else to talk about. We're not giving them anything else to talk about on the pitch. We're playing well. We're not really conceding. We stopped the defensive errors. And that's what they were on us for the whole of last season. Yeah. The attack is still putting away goals, not as many as they should be at the moment, but we're winning games. We've got maximum points and we've got 100% record in all the games we've played. What more can you ask for out of that? Do you know what I mean? And once you've got 100% record in all your games, what does it really leave the media to talk about? They either talk about how good you are, or they have to fabricate some stories to sell some papers to make it seem like there's a rift in the camp. There isn't a rift in the camp. You can see that. I can understand. You can see in some players or there's a bit of frustration when passes don't come their way, but that's in every game that happens. Do you know what I mean? But what is happening is it's being magnified because they're trying to find negatives and the team ain't giving them anything else that they can write about at the moment. So as long as this continues, I'm happy for them to write the stories and create what it is they want if it doesn't really exist in the camp. Because when you see the training pictures, everyone looks happy, everyone looks in harmony, and like I said, with Salah, at the moment, even though he may not be as clinical as he was last season, when he's on that pitch,
He's a threat.
he's a threat. His runs cause problems. People are thinking about him constantly. He's opening up spaces for other people to get into to score.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't necessarily have to have the best game, but if we come off that pitch with all the points, I don't care.
Yes, that's very true.
I don't care.
I do think we forget that newspapers are businesses trying to sell a product, and if they ain't got anything to write about, they ain't got no product. So
100%.
Yeah. I hear that. Okay, so going forward in the week, we have Chelsea coming up in the Carabao Cup. Just so we get some thoughts on the lineup for that game.
In my opinion, honestly, I would just play a lot of the so-called fringe players. I mean, not being funny, in my opinion, personally, it's not a trophy that we should be competing for. I think, like I said...
Sean, don't upset me, man. You know I love the League Cup, man. Listen, you know I love the League Cup. It's February, bro. Yeah. It's halfway through the season. It just gives us that impotence, that confidence. We need to win something.
Sam, I can agree with what you're saying, but my thing is this. In my opinion, it's not a significant trophy. Nobody's looking at the Carabao Cup and saying, wow, Liverpool won a Carabao Cup. No disrespect. In my opinion,
would you rather get to the end of the season and say, wow, Liverpool won nothing?
I'd rather us finish second and challenge for the title.
I didn't give you that option. I'm saying, would you rather we won nothing or the Carabao Cup?
Where do we finish in the league?
Why are you bringing the league to me for, man? I'm saying to you, because would you rather, in the terms of cup competitions,
yes,
which we're entering 3 this season, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather win the Carabao Cup or win nothing?
Win nothing.
Wow.
That's. Do you know what? Like, I'm a jump in. Because I'm an advocate of what Sam's saying. Yeah, the morale brings in February to win the Carabao Cup. I get that, but I also get what Sean's saying, because in the grand scheme of things, the Carabao, who won it last season?
Yeah, nobody knows.
Exactly.
We know.
See the silence, because nobody cares. But internally, in the camp, they care, because we've won a trophy. Yeah, it's we can do something more now. Like we got here, like we've done this. So I see both points.
But to me, also as well, it's also the long-term plan as well. I mean, by us obviously challenging for the league, us challenging for the Champions League, teams will be thinking, right, you know what, like this team here, you know what I mean, they're really going for it. You know what I mean? The way we play football, teams are looking at that worldwide. Nobody, no disrespect, cares about the Carabao Cup, in my opinion, personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's watching the league, the Champions League.
But over here, the Carabao Cup's finished. Is the Carabao Cup finished when the second round of Champions League games?
Yes. Yeah.
So by that time, teams here and the press here are like, whoa, Liverpool is serious. They're still, they're first, second. They're still in the hunt for the title, let's just say. They're through to the knockout stage of the Champions League. They've won the Carabao Cup. So while the world isn't necessarily looking at the Carabao Cup, and I agree with that, domestically, the press and the other teams around us in the Premier League are looking at what we're doing. So for us to win the Carabao Cup, still be in the knockout stages of the Champions League and be in the hunt for the title, that can't be a bad thing, man.
And even in the course of this week, it's just about momentum. This is going to be our 8th game of the season. Yeah, we're winning all our games. I don't want to suddenly lose a game and then throw us off course. It's a big game as well. It's not Scunthorpe or Oldham or one of them teams. It's a big game against Chelsea. So even though you're talking about fringe players, now our fringe players, it's a squad. And it's the young players have all gone out on loan. So it's going to be a top team that we're going to play. So I feel like we should be going for it, like just the same way we're going for every single game, and really trying to win every single game, and not look at it as, it's just the Carabao Cup. I can't get with that, man. I can't get with that. I just want to win something.
I get it. I get what you're trying to say. I mean, if we can win it without burning up too much resources,
I think that's the key. That's the key.
That brings us onto the lineup, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what it says. The lineup. That's why it brings us nicely back to what I said. The lineup. What do you reckon, Chris? Who would you put?
My thing is, our second squad, our second team, so to speak, is decent. You know what I mean? It's not, and I think it's a lot better than what Chelsea have to offer if they decide to play their B team. I think you play Fabinho, Keita, and
would you put Keita in that second string? Leroy's like he's been shot in the chest. He's wincing. When he had Naby in that second team, he winced.
My guy. No, he's my guy. Don't know, 100% he's my guy. But what I'm trying to say is he hasn't been getting minutes lately. So that's why I said I don't mean like he's second tier. Don't get me wrong. You saw me in the WhatsApp. I've been championing that guy since day one. You know what I mean? Listen, that guy he's obviously talent wise, his levels above any of the other midfielders we have, in my opinion, talent wise. But he's still, me personally, he has to learn how to play in the league. Do you know what I mean? So slow him down a little bit.
I'm with Justin.
But I would say play so Henderson, Fabinho holding, Keita, Dick going forward, Sturridge, Kiri, Klein maybe get a game.
Oh, even drawing for Klein.
I agree. Klein get a game because I'm assuming that Chelsea are going to play a second string, and from what I know of the Chelsea squad, their second string is not that strong.
Not as what it used to be.
No, it's not that strong. It's not that strong. That team we're putting, we're talking about Sturridge, Keita, Fabinho. Them guys are Champions League level players playing in a so-called B. And the thing is,
be careful.
When I say B team, I don't mean as in they're not good players, but what I mean is in terms of minutes,
team. Just
and stuff like that. Because Keita's for me is long going future. That guy's our future.
Yeah, he's our future, definitely
going forward. And Fabinho as well, because he looks like an old man, but forget they're going. He does the old.
Let's not talk about the hairline problems. We're all going through this right now, man. Come on,
shave the thing, man.
Man, I'm holding on, man.
Yo, don't know about the mood thing yet, boy. Man still grows hair out.
I'll get some juices, some spray. I'm going to 50, mate. Come on.
I let go a long time ago.
I mean, you man let go of that hair at school, boy. Secondary school. Yeah, Sean knows.
Yeah, but saying that, like I said, our second string or our alternative player, shall we say, are quality. Do you know what I mean? We've got quality players. There's a few positions that we're like I was championing Matic when he first arrived, but he's a bit of a pussy. No, it's not even that he's talented. I'm saying this to Sam, who's kind of
he's a fake African. I'll tell you that for free.
It's funny because
he ain't from Cameroon.
Nah, mate.
It's not his talent.
I'm not being funny here, but I think he's Guyanese or some shit. He's not one of mine, man. I'm just saying. He's not no West African, mate. The guy's skinny, he's weak, he's got fear on his face.
He ain't Jamaican.
Alright, I'll let you have that. He's not a jammer. He might small island you.
Exactly. Because we're bad even if we ain't got nothing to back it up. He definitely ain't one of us. He ain't one of us. He definitely ain't one of us. You know what I mean? You got at least fronting like he can do something. You know what I mean? I'll puff up the chest or something.
You're right.
No, but jokes aside, when he came, like me and Sini was saying, when he came, I thought this guy's alright. He's got ability. He's the real deal.
I that as well.
Sini said it. He was the best we had at the time when he came. When he came, there was nobody better than him. I think Lovren was pony.
I just showed you how bad our defense was.
That's what I'm saying. There you go.
It's crazy.
But looking at it now, I mean, like to go back to today's game, there was a passing. Square pass across the box. It was short.
Listen,
I was like,
nearly crashed the car.
Jesus is
Nearly crashed the car. Me and Chris was like, what did you do that for? What's he doing?
Jesus, that's why I couldn't be manager. I'll be throwing bottles from the touchline. I ain't talking about them plastic bottles neither. I'm asking the guy from the touchline. You know what I mean?
Van Dijk saved him, but
he is.
Back to the lineup. He falls into our second string. So you're going to who do we have as second choice keeper?
It's Mignolet,
who's still there?
It's Mignolet.
Is it?
Yeah, he's still there.
Alright, cool. So we're having.
You tried to forget, but I think I did.
I think I pushed him out. Subconsciously, I pushed him out. Sorry, Mignolet. I still love you, man. So we're saying Mignolet in goal. We'll have Klein and Moreno at fullbacks. We'd have to go.
Moreno.
Do you know what? You can't have Moreno and Mignolet.
I don't know about Moreno.
I wouldn't even play Mignolet. I'll play Alisson still.
Would you?
Yeah.
He's a keeper, like, innit? So I mean, you're not really.
And if Van Dijk's not going to be there, at least someone's commanding.
That's what I was going to ask you. Would you? Because obviously with Lovren being out, take time, Lovren. Who would you put in with Matip? Would you put Gomez in or would you put Van Dijk in?
Gomez. Van Dijk's come off today, so let's not even try and risk him midfield. We've got a game on Saturday. So it's got to be Gomez, isn't it?
Yeah, Gomez have to come.
I can't. My spirit can't deal with Moreno though, man. That guy upsets me on a level. Seriously, I like him. He's like a fun guy, but I ain't gonna lie.
Big up tour guide.
He's like a fun guy, but I ain't gonna lie. Whenever I see his name on the thing, I go hide underneath my pillow for a little bit and come back out. He upsets me, man.
So, question to you: would Origi get some game time?
Good question.
I think he's injured.
He scored a great goal for the under 23 in the week. He scored a great goal. That's a good question.
I think he could get a game playing wide of one of the
Sturridge and Origi and Shaqiri, maybe.
As long as it's not Sturridge doing the doggies on the wing.
The front three always interchange anyway, so normally they don't hold their positions as such.
Little side note though, have you noticed? You ever watched it when Sturridge, he'll track back but he'll never put a leg out. He'll never make a tackle.
He might fall off.
Next time you want... No, come on now.
Disrespect Studs, man. That's our guy, man.
Sturridge, my guy, I love Sturridge.
We're laughing and Leroy's face is serious. I think he's feeling pull the tool out.
Is this family or something? Like, what? Leroy's looking upset.
No, you know what, Shay, you have no idea how much I rate Sturridge.
No.
But every time he goes near like a challenge, I'm thinking,
Oh, Lord.
you know what I mean? Seriously.
No, but
Great
seriously, next time you see Sturridge track back, let me know if he makes a tackle. I cannot tell you the last time
Did you
Sturridge
know
made a
what?
tackle.
All he was doing during the week was filling the space, and that was enough.
You know, but that's fine. He's a
That was
striker.
enough.
That's fine. Because strikers make bad tackles. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's something I've noticed with Sturridge over the years, and I just thought I'd bring it to you lot's attention. So next time you see,
I think
Listen,
he
you can't blame him, man.
I don't
It's
think
his history.
I think he wants to, but I think he don't trust his body, and you can't blame him because
Yeah, well, he's been
do you know what I mean?
He needs to
He's been
use his
through a lot.
body going forward. He ain't trying to get an injury if he's putting a tackle in at right back, is he?
And I think Klopp understands that. But like Leroy was saying earlier, this is the fittest and healthiest looking I've seen him in a long time, and he don't look as frail as he did before. So
I agree with that.
I'm nervous for him because I rate him so much. That's the thing. It's not like when I talk about the injuries, I'm making jokes about the injuries. It's not because I don't rate the guy. I think he's a phenomenal player. Technically, he might be our most gifted player we got in the squad.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You have the moments where he goes in for a chat, you're like, come out the other side, my brother. Yeah. Come out the other side, you know what I mean? So it's something
Let
like
me
that.
ask you then, Chris. He played for about 65 against PSG. Now, for me, at that point, he looked shattered.
Yeah.
Can he play 90 minutes?
No. And he can't play 2 games in a week either.
It's harsh, man.
Gotta protect
I
him.
mean, it was a tough game against PSG. I'd like to see him play 90 minutes.
I don't think
If
it
he
was
can
a
put
tough-
in that
I
work.
don't think it was a tough
No,
game
in
against
terms of
PSG.
the work that he put in as a central striker, he was back behind the ball a lot
Well,
of the time.
I think he can play longer than 60. But he obviously need to build up his match fitness because if you played on and off for years, for at least 18 months, then you're not going to have the match fitness. But I'm not sure if his body will allow him to play 90 minutes twice in a week. I think he'll give you 60 to 70 minutes once a week, and that might be all we need.
But to me, I'm fine with that. As long as you can play a significant amount of games this season, I'm fine with that. I mean, again, we've got Origi, we've got Shaqiri, you know what I mean?
We've got Solanke.
You got Solanke. You forgot about Solanke.
Exactly. So we've got depth in the squad. So if he can just give you the 60, 70 minutes per game, and he can play that again the majority of the season, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Sorry, a little bit of side note. Bringing up the strikers, I want to say I think we missed out on Giroud. I think for 18 million.
Whoa!
Giroud.
Whoa,
I'm
that-
saying.
Random. That's that left side, isn't it?
Let me hear me out. The reason why I say that is because I think he's very underrated. I think he holds the ball up well, and I think he's a different kind of player. And his link-up play is outstanding.
You know what, yeah? I'm not going to doubt you on Giroud. I like Giroud, yeah? I do like him. But not for my team, thank you very much.
80 mil.
The only reason I would ever buy Giroud is because he always scores against Liverpool. That's it.
Stop him from scoring.
That's it.
against us.
Yeah, that's it.
He's a talented guy, man. I think as an alternative type of striker in them games where it's difficult.
You go into
No, I know
Sini shaking
Sean-
his head right now.
Yeah,
like.
Sean wants to say something as well, but I'm just going to say Giroud is that. It's a bit like lumpet football, man, and we don't play that. We don't play.
But we do put a lot of crosses in though.
I think he's better than that, though. I think he's better than that.
I'm not saying we doubt it, but with Giroud in the team, I think you're just tempted to give it to the big man, let him do his thing, and get runners off of it.
Change the style of play.
Change the style of play, and I don't think that's our style. Which is
But
why
isn't that a good plan B to have though?
we got Solanke for that.
I mean, I'm not saying I would
With
want to buy
Robbo's
delivery
delivery,
name.
with Robbo and Trent's delivery.
But think of it, yeah. How often do they get deliveries in? Think about it. Now, think about it. We know they can deliver a ball and they've put in a few crosses. But look at today's game. How many crosses did they get into the box?
Well, Trent is young and he's still working on his game.
No. Don't look at it from how many successful crosses, but how many times do we actually do it? If you look at the way we score our goals, not a lot of our goals come from the ball being crossed. Yeah, recently we've had a few, like Robbo's done a couple in it, but in general, you look at it, I don't think we cross many balls into the box from the target man.
I think that's because we haven't got anybody to pass it to, because I've seen a lot of situations where Robbo's check back because nobo's
but I'm
making that run.
there, because that's not our style of play. So then we'd be changing our style of play.
But that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying a plan B when it's not, when the I don't know what you call it, the heavy metal's not working.
I can't remember who said it.
R&B.
I can't remember who said it, but plan B is to execute plan A. That's what Klopp or Pep, one of them guys said it. I can't remember, and I go with that. Plan B is to execute Plan A better if you need be. Do you know what I mean? Not change the style.
Total belief in what you're doing and nothing else.
Right, exactly. A total belief.
It probably come from Pep, to be fair, because the way they play, I've seen it. They might be a goal down, but they don't change their game.
And how many times they scored that goal?
They don't speed it up. They just keep going, just doing that patience, boy. Prodding, poking, you know what I mean? I think the only reason why we get love against them is because they play open. If you play open against us, it's mad. Like, do you know what I mean?
But like you said, they never, like you said, they never stop playing the way they've been told to play. And I think as good as Giroud might be, I think that'll be changing our style of play. And right now, the way we play, no, thank you, I'm okay.
Another player, fair enough. So another player I'm throwing there. I mean, he might not get a lot of game time this season, but you forget about Brewster.
Is he fit yet?
He's out. I know he's out for a long period of time, but I mean,
that's a big thing to come. He's a big player for me, massive player. Obviously, he's not. I don't know what his fitness is, but if we can get him for like second half of the season, I think he's good enough to play now. I've watched him playing. The guy, it's levels.
Definitely cup games at least. You know.
Yeah, he's very good.
Cup games in the cup you don't want to play in.
Question for you, Sam. Though, with that Canberra Cup, do you actually even qualify for Europe with that still? I'm sure you don't even qualify for Europe.
You do. You get Europa.
You get Europa. What about FA Cup? You get it still as well.
Europa for those two, and then 5th place in the league.
Okay.
Not that we're looking at that Arsenal.
I'm not saying that.
Arsenal type competition in the Europa League. We don't really mess with that anymore.
I was wondering if you still got any. If you got that.
Yeah, you get perks for it, but I think.
It's not even a perks, it's just the physicality of having a trophy. That's all it is.
No, I get it. No, I definitely get it. But I'm probably siding towards Shawn. That was just going back to what you guys were talking earlier. Because obviously, I'll probably agree with you guys. We're going to go with we need to go with a weekend side, so to speak, innit? But I'm not really. We get knocked out of that. Man, it don't bother me. Honestly,
it will bother you though if we carry that form of a losing performance into the next game. And that's my point.
But that can happen at any stage though. Like we can win. We're going to have to.
Of course, but if we're doing that, and we're playing a lesser team, and we're always setting ourselves up to fail, so to speak. And I don't want us to go into the Chelsea game, the league game, off the back of playing them already. On low on confidence. I think we should be able to carry it through, and even if we went out on penalties or whatever, at least put in a performance and really give it everything.
I think the performance is key.
As long as we don't go out and win.
Like
it's just like just we play some.
But we're at home, aren't we?
We're not going to play a mere game against them anyway. We're going to play.
We're at home. It will be full of.
I can tell you, they're not going to play Hazard and them guys, and that's the only guy in their team I really good. It's I think fair.
Without Hazard and Kante, they're pretty ordinary.
I'm not talking in terms of their quality. I'm talking about fear in terms of. I've got to watch that guy. That guy's a killer. Do you know what I mean? Willian is good, but he's dropped off a bit. Kante is special individual.
But you know,
Willian turns up against us though.
Do you know what though? I've stopped worrying about opposition players. I feel like they need to worry more about us.
Did you not say that today in the car?
I used to be like that.
Teams are starting to get the fear factor.
I've stopped worrying about oppositions because when we weren't too good, we shut a lot of big players out. The Bales, the Ronaldos, the Rooneys, all of them, we shut them out. Now we're actually kind of top of the tree, man. Like it's about time they started to worry about us. You know what I'm saying? And when they're coming to our place or we're going to their place, we're not thinking, their best player. Nah, they're thinking, damn, like their best player's thinking, damn, I'm gonna have to do some defensive work. You know what I mean? So I'm not too worried about Chelsea.
No, this is definitely a valid point about the fear thing, and it's not to divide anything, but I've spoken to a lot of people into individual players from us. I think people fear Mane more than anybody. Everybody I've ever talked about is Mane.
His turn of pace, he can be standing still and just gone. He's gone.
Plus, his style, I wouldn't say erratic, he's not disrespectful.
Erratic.
Erratic's the word. That's a good word. Bang on.
And not even in a disrespectful way. Just
in a way that you don't. He's unpredictable.
You just don't know. You don't know
what he's going to do. So I think that's what makes him dangerous.
He's the kind of player that can have 2 terrible games and then literally the next game after that
hat-trick.
Have a hat-trick.
Definitely.
Yeah, gotta love Sadio Mane. Boys, well, it's about that time, lads. We've got to wrap it up now, you know what I mean? But it's been emotional, mate. It's been emotional. We've been at Anfield South podcast. I've been your host, Slim. And again, today me's been Leroy. Chris.
Nice being here, people.
Shawn. Good. Sini.
Thank you, people.
And Sam.
Yes, people. Till next time.
Until the next time. Don't forget to follow our socials. Follow us on Twitter at at South Anfield, and follow us on Instagram, Anfield_South1.
They've won the league, bigger stars than Dallas. They've got more silver than Buckingham Palace. No one knows quite what to expect when the red machine's in full effect. Well, Steve McMahon sure can rap. It's about time he had an England cap. So come on, Bobby Robson, he's the man. Because if anyone can, Macca can. Macca can. Macca can. Macca can. Macca can.
Liverpool FC is hard as hell.
My idea was to build Liverpool up and up and up until eventually they would be untouchable.